Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Walt, and we here, y'all. First of all, clap it up for yourselves for staying along this long-awaited wait, and we finally here, man. I had a bunch of people texting me, DMing me, "Hey, how you gonna make it up? How you gonna make a podcast? Put out a little snippet video, all this whoop wop, and you ain't gonna drop no content." Chill. All right. We on the way. Life happens, things like that happens. And this stuff ain't easy, bro. People think, for the most part, all you gotta do is just hit record and start talking. But I want my stuff to be organic. I want my stuff to be real. What's the right word? I want to put my best foot forward. I don't want to just, let me go in here, boop. What's up, y'all? Welcome. No, man, I want to give y'all some good stuff. I want to make sure everything is situated. My profiles, my now. If you want to listen to Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, whatever, I want to give y'all the choice. I don't want y'all to have to click on my stuff and have to do all these extra things. But all jokes aside, welcome to the podcast, man. This is Terry Talks, brought to you by your boy Walterius Jones, and yeah, man, we gonna keep it organic. We're gonna keep it pure. Expect solo episodes. Expect co-host episodes. Expect guests. Expect a bunch of stuff. For right now, we're gonna stick with audio. But like I said, things happen. We're gonna hit y'all with some video. We're gonna hit y'all with some audio. It just depends on, honestly, which one gravitates with people more. Because I know a lot of people, they like to sit down and watch it. I don't know why you wouldn't want to watch me. Um, but some people like it. Some people just like putting it on play while they getting ready, or just waking up, or they on the way to work or whatever. They just want to hear it in their car, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? I want to give y'all a variety of options that y'all can rock with. So yeah, man, this is gonna be my first episode, and I think today, what I'm gonna talk about today is I just want y'all to get to understand me and my situation a little bit better. Because I feel like at the end of the day, this is going to be a very, I don't want to say intimate podcast, but it's going to be very personal for me. I'm going to share a lot of things that I um, haven't shared before. And now I don't want y'all thinking like, oh my God, he about to tell us what happened at summer camp in 2007. No, none of that, none of that crazy stuff right there. But just, obviously, if you don't know, like I said, I'm Monterius Jones. I am the son of Walter Jones. If you don't know who that is, he is a former Seattle Seahawk, Pro Football Hall of Famer. And honestly, to be frank, I've made a lot of friends just because of who I am, but there's a lot of people that's listening to this or going to be listening to this because of, who my father is. And, I've been subconsciously running from that my whole life. Just because you want to, especially as a boy, you want to make your own way. You know what I'm saying? You want to pave your own destiny. But then when you got this shadow, I'm not saying it's a negative, but this is just my perspective. When you have this shadow, it just seems that no matter what you do, good or bad, it's always gonna be because of that thing that casts that shadow. So yeah, if you're listening to this because you're a fan of my dad and you want to see what his son's got going on, or if you an OG and you know your boy and you want to just come support me, get a click, and you know what I'm saying. I appreciate y'all, but like I said, I'm Monterius Jones. That's my father. I'm 23 years old. I got an amazing twin sister, Waleria. Like I said, if you come to this podcast because of my father, then you know that I got a twin sister. If you OG, you know Leary. Shout out Leary. But yeah, I got a twin sister. I live in Seattle, Washington, born and raised. Yeah, Seattle is it's interesting, because I feel like Seattle is more of a. If you're from Seattle, you could probably attest to this, but when you're from Seattle, Seattle's kind of like a bubble. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to really go outside of Seattle or go to a different coast to really see. Like, man, everything in Seattle is so. It's just such a isolated place in a sense. Like, yeah, we got the cities, we got all this stuff, but like people in Seattle, they got their own way of thinking. Kind of similar how people say people down in Florida are. Florida, its own country. Florida's crazy. I feel like Seattle kind of has that same vibe to it. Seattle, it's so different. We kind of go with our own flow. We kind of have our own thing, our own kind of swag to us. Good and for bad. You know what I'm saying? You go one part of Seattle and you're like, man, I'm really rocking with this, and then you take a left turn and you're like, yeah, what the hell? Where the hell am I? So, um, that's just giving it real. Um, but yeah, so I'm from Seattle, Washington. Still here to this day. And going back to about the podcast, before I can continue to introduce myself, another thing about the podcast, I want to just hit y'all in the mouth with things that I know a lot of people want to hear. And with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and give y'all the answer to the questions that y'all want to ask or y'all been wanted to ask. Because you know when you hang out with somebody and you want to be like, man, like I could tell they want to ask me this, but they don't know if it's the right time or if it's appropriate. So this podcast, for sure, this episode, um, I'm going to answer all the questions that a lot of people wanted to ask. So, um, yeah, so going back to let y'all know who I am. Like I said, Walteria's got a twin sister, live in Seattle, Washington, born and raised. Um, living in Seattle has been it's been a different experience than a lot of other my peers. Obviously, um, everywhere I go, isn't your dad this, your dad's that. So, um, it's it's a interesting it's an interesting dynamic. Um, but it's not a negative. It's just like I said, it's very interesting. Um, I don't want nobody that's listening to this to take anything I say as, oh my God, this kid doesn't appreciate. Man, I talk to my dad all the time. My dad knows one how much he means to me. He knows that I know fully the sacrifices he made, everything he did to provide for me and my sister and my family, and I'm forever grateful for that. So with me, the way I talk like this, I kind of come off as kind of cutthroat. Like, the way I say it is kind of like, man, this dude's kind of selfish. This man don't appreciate nothing. No, man, that's not what it is. I just want to clear that up. So, going down, I know this episode is kind of all over the place, but it's been a long time coming. I just want to give y'all all this and y'all can just take it in. And then so when I put out my next episode and the next one, y'all kind of can just, okay, I know what he's talking about. So, yeah, so don't take it as a diss to anybody. I love my dad to death. He's the greatest dad I can ask for. And nobody's perfect though. He has his flaws as a dad. I have my flaws as a son and as a friend, as a boyfriend, whatever the case may be. Nobody's perfect. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, like I was saying, living in Seattle, um, as the son of, a man that, this is his city in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people see on social media, they see Bronny and they see Kim Kardashian's kids. And I'm not saying I'm on their status, but in a sense, when your parent is a celebrity, a well-known celebrity in the area you're from, um, it has its pros and cons, man. Like it's, I want to go out with my buddies and have a couple drinks, and then you got eyes over you, like, hey, man, that's Walt's boy. You know what I'm saying? Especially at this age, because like I'm easily recognizable. But when I was 13, 14, I had the little peanut head. I had the glasses, the Superman glasses on. So, but now, you know what I'm saying, I got my little taco meat. You know what I'm saying? I got my little taco meat beard. You know what I'm saying? I got my little crispy fade, and you know what I'm saying? I got my tattoo, so I'm easily recognizable now. So you know what I mean? If I'm in the heart of Seattle, you know what I'm saying, cutting up, you know what I'm saying, people gonna be like, man, that's Walt's boy. So, um, and it always, it kind of subconsciously, you can't really fully, what's the right word? I'm not saying I can't be myself, but it's a different when you always have eyes on you, no matter where you're at. You know what I'm saying? And it's not coming off as as cocky, but that's just my life. You know what I'm saying? So, um, that's one thing. Reason why I wanted to kick off this podcast is because I just want to put my thoughts on the mic. Um, because if you hold in stuff, it's not good for your mental, and that's something I also want to dive into is mental health because mental health is something that you know you can't live without. If you got a bad mental, then you can't really live your life to the fullest. Like you gotta be good up top to be able to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but yeah, living in Seattle with that, it causes some frustrations, man. Because at some times I feel like I want to be a normal kid, but just because who my dad is, does that not make me a normal kid? Like if what's the definition of normal? You know what I'm saying? That's what's I've been so caught up my whole life. Like, why aren't I normal? But then some people are like, man, you as normal as can be. But I'm like, okay, I'm normal. Okay, then let's go back to 2014. All right, follow with me. Okay, I don't know what your situation is, but just follow along with me. Okay, normal. Let's flash back to 2014. I'm 13 years old. I'm in, I want to say seventh grade, seventh or eighth grade. One of them. I'm in middle school. Okay. My parents, my parents were divorced. Got divorced when I was, I say, 9 or 10. Um, so right after the divorce, I mainly stayed with my mom. They decided it would be best that I live with my mom and my sister to finish out school. And I did see my dad, but I lived with my mom. So around that time, it was the fresh divorce. So like I would say I would see him not every blue moon, but for the first couple years, it was kind of like they were coming off the back end of their divorce. So I don't know if your parents ever been divorced. Like it's kind of tough to be in the same room for a little bit. So I would see my mom. I would live with my mom. Then I would go see my dad. But as a collective together, no, that wasn't happening for the first couple years. So that happened at 2010, and then fast forward 3 years later. I'm 13, 14. I'm smelling myself, as they can say. I'm starting to get a little hair on my chest, a little mustache on my face, and who gives me a call? My dad. And obviously at that age, your dad can't tell you nothing wrong. As you get older, you kind of start being like, man, come on, bro. You just saying some shit now. But back then, 10, 11, 12, 13, if you really, I can't speak for you, but for me, I looked at my dad as as a superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like this man is on posters. This man's on TV. Um, like that's a superhero in my eyes. So he gives me a call. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And it's a normal conversation. I'll never forget. It's it's the middle of the week. It's like a Monday or Tuesday. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna pick you up from school tomorrow." I'm like, "All right, cool." Like usually my mom picks me up, but he called me. He's like, "Hey, he's gonna pick me up." So I'm like, "Hey, okay, cool." So I go to school, normal day. For some reason, my sister wasn't feeling good that day, so she didn't go to school, and I didn't go to school. I went to school, and like I said, had a normal day at school, hang out with my friends. Probably not paying attention in class, probably not paying attention in class, but for the most part, it was a normal day that I can remember. Um, the bell rings. I get out. I see my dad's truck. I go get in the truck, and let me paint you a picture. I get in the truck. We got to go home. And when I say go home, this is not a 5-10 minute drive. I live I'm basically going south of Seattle. So I live in Renton. I grew up and going to school in Kirkland. So that's like a good no traffic. You just hitting it. It's still like a good half an hour drive, about a good 30 minutes. So imagine on a Tuesday at 3:30 going south anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some traffic. So, and he said he wanted to um, pick me up. So I get in the car. Normal day, like what I'm saying. It's just normal. About the halfway mark, I can kind of tell something's. I wouldn't say something's off, but I'm like, there's something. There's something going on. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something going on. So I'm just in the car. Um, Probably messing with the aux or something. I don't know. But he looks at me and not saying nothing. I'm like, what this dude about to what? Like, what's going on? And he's like, so look, if y'all know my dad, he's not really big on building stuff up. He kind of just looks at you, but like, yeah, man, look, this is what it is. So he's like, hey, look, man, I'm in. I don't want to get the numbers wrong, but when he brought it up to me, he was like, I'm in the second calling of the Hall of Fame, like the second level, like it went down from 80 to like 65 or something like that. And he was saying that, hey, look, they're saying that it's a good possibility that I can get cut down to the final 12. And if I'm down to the final 12, then they're going to fly us out to Seattle or to the Super Bowl in New York. And they're going to announce it the night before. And there's a good chance. And I got to do some interviews and I want someone to represent me if that's the case. And I'm like, okay. And he looked at me. He said, I want you to represent me. And I'm like, hold up. you could be in the Hall of Fame. And at the time, I'm 13, 14. I knew it was big, but I'm like, okay, you're about to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, you want me to represent you? I'm like, what does that mean, represent you? Like, what does that mean, represent you? He was like, look, you gonna make a video, you gonna go up on stage with me. I'm like, hold on, go up on stage? Make a video? Okay, bet. I'm 13, 14, 15 years old, so I'm kind of like, I'm like that 50-50 where I'm like, man, I'm about to get so many friends, then I'm also nervous, you know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about the real important thing at this moment, you know what I'm saying? So I'm 14, 15, he tells me this, I'm like, represent you. So I'm like, yeah, of course. So he said, keep the little hush hush though, because, this is, like I said, I don't remember I don't know if he was about to or he just did, but this is like looking for like a couple months. He was saying that like, hey, there's a good chance that you're gonna have to, like, would you be able to do it? And I said, yeah. So this is the middle of the school year. This is towards the end, I think. This is after New Year's break. So we're got like 2-3 months left of school. So finish out school. Um, Now, for people that don't know, like I said, I'm from Seattle, but my family's from Alabama. So every summer, we would go back to Alabama every summer. And this summer was normal. Like, we get out of school, go to go to Alabama. And we went to Alabama, and my dad, like he said, he's being quiet this day. It's a normal summer day. And like I said, my daddy's all quiet. He's just sitting there, like, like he wants to say something, but he's not going to say it. So I'm just, walking around, like, what's going to happen? And he said, all right, man, look, so, all right, man, look, so look, the people that's for the Hall of Fame, yeah, they going to come next week, and they're going to bring some cameras, and they're going to interview you, and they're going to ask you some questions. Huh? Who? When? Hold up, bro. Like, imagine this, man. It's summertime. You 14. I just want to play. I just want to play Call of Duty with my friends and hang out over the summer. And I'm over here getting told that ESPN is about to come to my house, go to my room, interview me, that they could portray in front of the whole world. Now, just think about that. Now, think about this. This is you're 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just because who my dad is, I didn't get accustomed to none of this stuff as a younger kid. I was still fangirling. I would go to his games. I would be like, "Hey, yo, Sean. Hey, Matt Hasselbeck. Hey, Loaf. I'm the son. I'm freaking out. Still to this day. Still to this day, I get, I go to the games and I freak out. He's like, man, you need to keep chill. Like, I'm normal. I'm normal, you know what I'm saying? So, um, so, where was I, man? Yeah, so he said the ESPN was gonna come and they were gonna interview me and ask me a few questions. And at first I'm like, bro, what? Like, I can't even process it. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, that's a crazy ass thing to tell your 14 year, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just so crazy. Like, imagine, you know what I'm saying? Imagine you at 14, your dad walking into you and say, hey, ESPN is about to come to the house next week, ask you a few questions, make a little video and put it out in the world. I bet. So the week goes by, and I'll never forget. They sent over, it was like 5 questions or something like that, 5, 6 questions. Um, and me and my mom and everyone were like practicing these questions all week. It's like simple questions that you don't need paper for. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a test where you're like, okay, I need to memorize this. It's 5 simple questions that you can easily answer the same every time they ask you. It's like, are you proud of your dad? Yes. And it's like, what's your greatest memory of your dad playing football? At the now, now it would be, this summer, like this moment, the Hall of Fame. But at the time, I think I said running on the field after they won the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl. I think that was what I said at the time. I'm not sure. And then he asked, what if you can tell your dad how, like, it was some simple, like, are you proud, what type of question, y'all can go look at it right now, it's somewhere, just type in Walterius Jones Hall of Fame video for his father, like you can go find it, right? So they asked me these questions, Actually, no, I'm gonna give y'all the play by play. I'm gonna give y'all the play by play. Like I said, we fam now. I'm gonna keep it real. So I'm gonna keep it organic. I'm gonna give y'all the play by play. And I appreciate y'all that's still listening. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving y'all that real. So, like I said, that day comes. I studied all my notes. I studied all my notes about how proud I am of my dad. Get a knock on the door. Boom. Oh my God, who is it? Open the door. It's freaking a big ass ESPN truck, lights, cameras, 8 people. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I instantly start sweating. I don't know if y'all some sweaters out there, but if I get in any situation where I'm not comfortable, like I like public speaking, you know what I'm saying? I like speaking in front of crowds. I like doing that. I'm comfortable. But if it's a situation where I'm not comfortable and I get caught off guard, sweat down my chest, my back, my forehead, my nut, everything, sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like just sweat. Like when I say sweat, it's just everything once, everything at once, whoosh. Like I can't stop it. I just gotta let it do its course, and then I can, adjust and go and figure out a game plan to get out of the situation. So they come to the house. Who is it? Open the door. Hey, it's da 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 da. We asked, man, is your dad home? I answer the door. I answer the door. Because I'll never forget this too. They came earlier. I don't know what time my dad said they were gonna come, but I remember I was not ready. And the only reason why I was not ready because I knew I had a couple more hours. It wasn't like I was lazy. I'll never forget that too. It was a situation where they came early, and I thought I had more time. Like, hey, they're coming at 3. It's 11:30. Why am I getting ready at 11:30? You know what I'm saying? Boom, 4.5 hours early. I ain't even brushed my teeth yet. I got crushed. I'm ashy. I ain't brushed my teeth. I got one sock on because I was laying in my room. I had to rush out, put some pants on. I'm looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? My hair is all crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at, imagine that. You get ESPN open the door and that's what they see. Like, damn, like that, like, now that I'm thinking about it, that's foul. You know what I'm saying? That's foul. Like, that's trauma. But at the time, I'm like, yeah, come in. They come in. They're like, oh, it's a nice house, woo wop, whatever. My dad comes in. Hey, they're talking about whatever. He's like, hey, man, get ready. My dad's shooting the booted. He's ready. I'm like, okay, this is premeditated. What's going on? So I run to my room. I remember I take a shower. I get in the shower. And I remember I was so. Have y'all ever been in the shower and you know that feeling when you get the nervous sweats, right? Now be real. If y'all lying, if you listen to this and you saying ill, grow up. You know what I'm saying? Grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you know that feeling when you get them sweats, your body kind of get a little cold, and you feel it like in the area that it's sweating, you kind of feel it forming up, you feel it coming. I had that in the shower. Like I was showering, but every time the water would hit me, another layer of sweat would build up. Like it was the weirdest feeling ever. I was so nervous. I never felt clean in that shower. Like I took a shower. You know when you had a long day, you sweat and you take a shower. Just one bypass, like just one, like you just get that layer off you, that layer of just funk. That first layer, boom, you automatically feel fresher than you did before. Not that day. That layer comes off, whoop, I still feel dirty. Like I'm trying to paint this picture for y'all so y'all can really feel like the trauma it is. People say this is a crazy ass day. No, this day was trauma. And I was about to spell it, but what TR? Oh man, TR. Damn, that's crazy. So we we just gonna blow past that little part. But hold on, I got my phone right here. Let me look this up. I'm sorry, we keeping it professional. I'm looking this up. Trauma, TRAUMA. Okay, trauma. All right, so yeah, trauma. Get out the shower. I get fresh, aka Axe body spray from the temple to the toes, like 14 temple to the toes, like just fresh. I'm thinking I'm fresh. Boom, I walk out. They got the cameras all set up. I'm sitting there like, man, this is different. So I feel the sweats coming, but I kind of maintain it. And my dad's like, hey, I gotta go to the store. I remember he left. Like I remember that. Or it's something. I don't know what he left for, but he's like, hey, I gotta go run to the bank. Something. And I'm thinking like, dude, this is weird. Like, why is he leaving me here? And the dude was like, I remember it was a dude and it was a girl and it was another dude. So 2 guys and a girl. And I remember they were like, hey, so they're like running through the stuff, and they're like, all right, they're like, sit in this chair. The camera's gonna be here. Look, don't look into the camera. Look like you're looking on the like the if the camera had ears, look at the ears of the camera. Some like I'll never forget this. They're like, don't look directly into the camera lens, but imagine if the camera was a face, look at the ears of the camera. I'm like, okay. Um, so we do that, and I remember they're asking me questions, and I'll never forget. I'm sitting there. I'm painting this picture for y'all. Imagine you sit down in a little chair, right? You sit in a chair. You got directly in front of you. You got a dude sitting there, right? Legs crossed in another chair. You got two tripods, right? Two tripods with two big ass cameras on the side of him. So he's in the middle. You got two. Then you got two big ass lights behind those two cameras. Imagine the setup, all right? Then you got another dude on the side. He's adjusting the lights. And then you got the girl. She's on her knees. She's running the wires like through your feet through her. So she's like right at your knees. So like it's overwhelming. It's right there in your face, right? So imagine that you're sitting there. First of all, I don't know what to do with my hands, so I'm just sitting there, flat palm on my knees, like just sitting there like a weirdo, right? Sitting there, I'm looking. Boom! They hit the lights on. Sweat. Like I said, sweat. Right? So I can't do nothing about it because they put the little fake makeup on me. So I know that's why I look like I had skin pigmentations, because my forehead was crispy black, but then my cheek was light skin, whatever. Because I'm sweating, I'm knocking off the foundation. I don't know, but so I'm sitting there, hands on knees. I'm sitting there, and he's like, "All right." So he's like, your dad gave you the questions right last week to practice them. I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. So before the camera comes on, we're just gonna practice it through. I'm like, all right. So boom, he hits me the questions. Bam! Like I'm hitting them right. I'm adding extra stuff. They're hitting that like, oh, like that's so sweet. Like I'm killing them right. He's like, hey, so just that same energy, we gonna hit record, just one take, and we'll be done, man. He's like, and then our editor's gonna edit it up, and we'll send it to you next week, and it's gonna be in front of the world next month. Easy, right? So I'm getting all this nervous out the way. He's like, all right, you ready? I'm like, yeah. Boom. The red light starts blinking on this freaking all these cameras, right? And they're all just looking at me now. The girls that's on her knees, that's down by the camera, she stopped, crisscross applesauce, looking up at me. The dude that's interviewing me, legs crossed, glasses on, pen clicking, looking dead at my face. Dude fixing the camera, he stopped, hand on the light, looking dead at me, right? And they asked me a simple ass question. So, Walterius, how proud of you? How proud are you of your dad? Froze, stuck. What? How proud am I? What type of question? You froze, stuck. I don't know my name. I'm nervous. I can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Oh well, and I just said I'm very proud. I'm very proud. Just like that. I'm very proud. They said, okay, well, what's a memory of your dad playing that you hold great to you? Um, I can't think of shit. I can't think of nothing, y'all. I can't think of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there sweating. Imagine this. We practiced this all week. I can't think of one memory and then the lights go off. Camera lights go off. Boom. He's like, look. He's like, you good? He's like, what just happened? He was like, you froze? I was just like, oh, dude. I was like, these cameras are like, I was like, I don't know. I can't think. He's like, all right, we're going to cut the cameras off. We're going to try it again. Just practice. Listen, y'all. We go over this perfect. I'm talking shit. I'm like, but the lights are not on. I'm like, bro. He's like, all right. He was like, you got it. And so I could tell they're kind of getting frustrated because they're like, hey, look, you got it. When the lights come on, just do the same thing. I'm like, all right, cool. I kid y'all not. He's like, you ready? Boom. Camera lights on. Bing, bing. The big camera, the lights behind them on. Bing, bing. Girls on her knees looking at me, staring. Dude on the camera and the light, hand on light, looking dead in my face. Dude sitting in the chair, legs crossed, glasses, pen clicking, looking me dead in my face, right? Froze again. And this one was worse. I'm like cussing. I'm like, shit. And he's like, what? I'm like, my body posture. I'm like, I'm putting my hand on my head. Like, I'm like, and they just cut it. They're like, all right. They said, have you, they literally said, have you ate today? And I'm like, now I wasn't a skinny kid, but I wasn't a fat ass either. I was husky. You know what I'm saying? Like if you saw me, like, oh, that's a big kid. You know what I'm saying? So for him to say that, I automatically got standoff. I'm like, fuck me, have I ate today? No. He was like, where's your dad at? I'm like, he went to the store. He's like, see if he can bring you something to eat. That's what he said. I'm like, shit. So I pull out my phone. Brrring, brrring. That's my phone ring, all right? Brrring, brrring. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Dad. Where you at? I'm pulling up at the house right now. Okay. Well, they said that. What? They. Walter, speak up. They said, you need to bring me something to eat. What? Why didn't he bring you something to eat? Cause and the dude's like, can I talk to him? I handed to the phone. What's going on, Big Walt? Yeah. He's just where are you at right now? Okay. Um, yeah, he's just I don't know. He's just not Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye. I'm like, what the hell? What the fuck? What was that? Right? Hands me back my phone. Tells me I have a dope wall screen. I think it was like no cap. I think it was Kobe at the time. So or Michael Jordan or something like that. I don't know. It was an NBA player. Derrick Rose. That's who it was. Derrick Rose. That was my favorite player at the time. So he's like, oh, dope wallpaper. I'm thinking like, all right. So I never forget that. I'm like, why the hell did he tell me to give me something to eat? So he said, hey, you want to try it one more time, or you want to just take a little break and come back to it after we film your dad's segment? I said, hey, look, um, let's just do it now. They're like, all right, as they're getting ready, they're clearing the film. I feel my dad. Like I hear the steps coming, like I hear him coming down the hall, right? So I immediately like, bro, he cannot see me choke like this. So I screen up, good posture, and then the dude saw me get right. So he's like, hey, look, we're gonna go through it one more time, like we did before, without the lights. We're gonna go through it one more time, and then we're gonna go straight into it. All right, cool. Boom. He's like, so ask me questions. I'm killing it. I could feel my dad in the back left of me. You know what I'm saying? I could feel him in the back to the left of me. Like I get this feeling, right? So boom, he's like, ask me questions, bam, I'm hitting them all. Boom, 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 boom. And then he's like, well, thank you so much. Congratulations to you and your father, and yada yada. He wraps it up, boom. And then he was like, all right, we're done. And then I was like, all right, I'm thinking like, all right, I gotta hit this again. I'm trying to think, I'm like, all right, let's go, my last chance. He's like, no, we got it. And then he's like, look at it. He's like, did y'all get that? Y'all got it? And they're like, yep, yep. I'm like, what? And they said, yeah, we were recording. I'm like, and I was mad at the time. I remember I was mad. I was like, what were y'all recording? Like, yada yada and all this stuff. But like, no, because you like the lights. Like he was like, oh, you were too. The lights just got to you. I'm like, so. Long story short, they ended up recording without my consent. I thought that they were gonna record when the red lights flashing, but no. And speaking of red light flashing, we're gonna keep that in mind. I gotta, keep that in mind. The red light, camera light flashing. Just remember that. All right, I'm gonna bring it up later. Just remember, all right, the camera light flashing. So they're like, all right, we're done. And then I'm thinking like, whatever, like I'm about to go downstairs and get me something to eat, right? Not knowing this is one of the biggest things that's ever happened to me in my life, right? So they come up, they say, hey, we need to get a video of y'all playing. Like we need a video of y'all like interacting with each other. I'm like, interacting with each other. I was like, the last time me and my dad interacted was probably when the doctor put us in his hand. And he's like, come on now. I was like, I don't know. I was like, interacting. So my dad at the time, he had a football field in the backyard. Yes, a football field with two goalposts, 100 yards, 110 yards down from the goal, the whole nine. And we went down to the football field. Isn't that crazy? I just say it like it's so fucking casual. Like, oh yeah, he had a football field. But that's just me though. I'm gonna give y'all this perspective. Like I usually kind of run away from this. Like, yeah, my peers that know me, that are in my real circle, I talk about this. But if I met you, like, dude, you gotta try your hardest to find out who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'd be so just chill and whatever, but I'm gonna give y'all the real. We family. I'm talking to you like you my homeboy, my homegirl, whatever. I'm talking to you like we just chilling, man. So like I said, it's gonna test my what's the right word? I know this is going out to the world, but it's something that I think a lot of people gonna gravitate to, and a lot of people gonna be interested in this because, like I said, I'm gonna answer all the questions. I'm gonna answer all the questions that people were scared to ask or they just couldn't ask. So boom, like I'm giving y'all the story about the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? That's like the most number one question I get asked my whole life. So boom, back to the story. I need y'all to interact. So we go down to the football field and we're talking about. He's like, hey, pretend you're trying to get past your dad, like as a D top or DN. So I do that. We mess around, boom, 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 and yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of blanking because I kind of after that point it's kind of like a blur. Like I remember we were playing around, they were recording us, like messing around, like playing past football and all that stuff. Um, and then after that, they said, "All right, we're done. Like we're gonna edit it up, and you guys will see the live cut video at the Hall of Fame." And this is like June. This is like June, early June. The Hall of Fame is in August, right? So, boom. I enjoy the rest of my summer. You know what I'm saying? Like just trying to be a normal kid. Hall of Fame comes. Um, when the Hall of Fame comes around, I'm sorry about that. When the Hall of Fame comes, um, when the Hall of Fame comes around, um, we all fly out to Ohio, right? I don't know. Should I give you all this story? Should I give you all this piece? Or should I, what should I do? Let me see. You know what? Let me see. We gonna cut this. We gonna cut this story right here. You know what I'm saying? If y'all like that and y'all want the rest, let me know. If y'all listen to the whole thing, let me know. DM me and say, hey, we want to know what happened at the Hall of Fame. I think I gave y'all the good behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, but yeah, I guess you could say behind the scenes of what took to get up to the Hall of Fame, and my upbringing a little bit. But I think this is a good point where we can just cut it for right now. Um, just to keep y'all interested a little bit. But yeah, so as y'all can see, I got a story for days, and this is just one. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everyone that were excited before this, and I'm excited for everyone that listened to this 37 some minutes of me just talking about my life. I got way more to come, and it says I got part two of the Hall of Fame. So um, just stay tuned. And hey, if you rocking with me, I need to think of me a little outro saying like, I wanted to be organic. I don't know if it should be. I don't know. I need to think of an outro. So for now, we just gonna say 3, 2, 1, bye. Hey, so that's what we gonna say. We gonna say 3, 2, 1, bye. So I don't know what else to say at this point. About the outro. I got a lot to say, but like I said, I'm gonna keep y'all on your tiptoes, and I'm gonna give y'all that another time. I'm gonna finish that up on the next episode. But um, for episode one, I appreciate y'all for listening. Um, this is on the serious note for my last 2 minutes. On the serious note, if someone hasn't told you this today, um, you are somebody, you are special, and I do love you, even though I don't know who you are. If you're listening to this and you're getting to this part of the podcast, I do love you because you could have easily clicked off. And I know how, in today's time, a lot of people attention span, like you're not going to listen to 39 minutes of something that you're not interested in. So if you got to this point, just know that truly I love you and I appreciate you for supporting me because like I said, I'm a dive into it more into the season of this podcast. But for right now, just know that um, having a good support system and people that want to see you succeed in your circle is bigger than anything. So I appreciate everyone that's listening to this right now or that clicked on, that shared it. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate every single one of you, and this is something I'm very passionate about. Something that I feel like that will grow and will be big if I just put in the work and give you guys the material, which I'm doing right now. I appreciate it, and y'all stay blessed, stay organic. I love you guys, and till the next time, yeah, we out. 3, 2, 1, bye.